Hi guys, good evening. It's a Sunday evening, 26th of April 2020. Please forgive me for the lighting. I am just in the middle of town in the St. James area in near Piccadilly Circus. Basically I'm on standby for work, and so far it's been a very quiet day. In fact, a very quiet weekend. It's barely one single job that I've covered for the past 2 days, so hopefully the working week will be a lot better. So the death toll in the UK now has reached. It's not glamorized, but the death toll in the UK now has reached 20,732. That 20,732 people have sadly died. And I think what I saw is at least over 150,000 cases of COVID-19 currently in the UK. Now, for both sets of figures, of course, that figure could be far higher because those are cases that have been reported to the Department of Health, of course. So again, the figures can be far higher than what they actually are. So a couple of things I want to mention in the video. The government have rejected calls to ease the lockdown, and I think that's a good thing on the one hand, and I think it's a bad thing on the other hand. Good because again, we haven't found a vaccine for this virus, and still the number of people that are dying per day is still significantly high. It's approximately, say, 800 to 1,000 deaths every 24 hours. So it's almost like one person's dying every 30 to 45 minutes, or every probably half an hour to 1 hour here in the UK. That's, it's astonishing. But on the other side, the reason why I'll be happy if they did actually ease the lockdown is because people can go back to work. I can go back to work fully. I mean, even as a key worker, even though I'm still working, because of the nature of my job, working as a courier in the gig economy, in logistics, of course, it's only when there's work that's when we'll be earning a decent salary. So if they did ease the lockdown, of course, people will be going back to work, and they'll be prompted to order things and have them delivered, or be sent somewhere. So, yeah, I'm kind of like in the middle when it comes to lockdown having it eased. But of course, unfortunately, your health has to come before your wealth. If you're really unhealthy, or even if you're dead, then there's no way you can be making money or to be earning a living, or having. There's no point in you having a job because you can't work that job sufficiently or efficiently enough. I also learned just a few days ago. I was texting one of my friends who I studied at the university with, who's actually disabled and does have a few underlying health conditions. He did actually catch the virus, and for at least over 2 weeks was hospitalized. But thankfully, he did make a full recovery, and we were kind of arguing the backwards and forwards about what's really going on. And I was really slagging off our government about how the whole COVID-19 situation here in the UK has been badly mishandled. And he said, I think you should kind of just take it easy, because what happened to him, he feels he owes his life to the NHS. And yeah, credit to them, they're trying, but still, this situation could have been avoided had the government taken sufficient steps to avoid the high number of deaths we have had in the country so far. In 20,700, that is astonishing. And again, that may not be the true figure of the number of people who have sadly passed away. There's still the issue of PPE. There's still the issue of we are not containing the disease within the UK, because our airports and our seaports, all our key points of entry to over our borders, are still open. Airports are still open. I heard on the radio today that 15,000 people, an average of 15,000 people per day, are being allowed into this country, but that is in terms of the manual labour jobs with regards to farming, because crops still need to be harvested, and things such as food, fruits and vegetables still need to be harvested and processed and sent to the areas of consumption, to the supermarkets. So that I do understand, but still, we are not testing people as they're coming into our country. And someone did point out again that this was a British person. It was an LBC call that I listened to earlier today, and he made the point that he lives in Romania, but he's from the UK. But when he went back to Romania, he was still being tested, but in the UK, no such action has been taken. People are not being tested as well coming in and out of the country, and it's mind blowing with the number of deaths that we have here. And I think in Romania, the number of deaths that they have there is just under 700, which, okay, those are people losing their life, but in comparison to us here in the UK, it is far, 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 far better. Although one death is one death too many, but still, if you're talking about in terms of just comparing the death toll, of course, they're in a far better situation. I mean, you can say we've got this, we've got that, we are world leaders in this area of healthcare and that area of medicine, and we've got a rich history in terms of science and technology, but the results will always speak for themselves. So you can make any excuse you like, but again, the numbers, the figures, the data will always speak for themselves, and that's the only thing people take away from the situation, really. So, yeah, I just wanted to make those those points. It's just mind blowing what is happening. I'm just very concerned again for just how bad things are getting. The death count just keeps going up and up and up. And if they do ease the lockdown, which I think eventually they'll have to do soon, because the economy will suffer. The country is losing billions and trillions in terms of tax and revenue every single day that we are not working. Working fully in this country. So, but on the other hand, you also do have to take into consideration the health of the nation. If things do go back to normal, the death toll and the number of people who fall ill with the virus, of course, potentially could increase and spike again, because the virus is still there, regardless of whether or not the number of people dying or the number of people with the fall ill with the virus and are in hospital. Even if that number is gradually coming down, the disease is still there. But I just want to make those points, guys. I hope you're well and staying safe. Take care.